Another Bollywood film, another remake. Movies or music, we have a long history of expressing our eagerness to have a peek at the platter on another table. Bollywood's version of getting inspired is like watching the savant chef go wild on a recipe full of promise and then having someone else butcher it in a delusion to experiment with the taste buds of the housemates. But sometimes, such an effort could make way with some applause for being sincere for obtaining better results. Well, one wonders if wrapping up the entire shoot within 10 days is the only focal point of the movie that truthfully overshadows the modicum of entertainment it promises to provide. Let us calmly examine if other reasons embolden our interest. The idea of originating the story is devoid of any cliches, that's for sure. One can take solace in the fact that the story rapidly cooks up the premise without attaching too much focus to minutiae. The plot appears to cast alliance with the love angle that appears dainty to the visible eye but concludes in an unpleasant divorce. All of this transpires during the song. Using the selfie camera to shoot the video also brings out the unusual way of telling the story. The plot pops the point rapidly. A visibly shaken and reluctant Karthik's character takes on the seat of a radio jockey in the same news production house for which he was once the celebrated news anchor. Apparently, he had a falling out with the bosses that ended in his demotion to radio jockey. Does one wonder how the profession of radio jockey would be looked upon after the movie celebrates pitting the occupation as a downgraded version of a news anchor? Within minutes of starting his show, he receives a call from an unknown caller who threatens to blow up Mumbai's ceiling for failing to meet his demands. Karthik strives to take it lightly, and before he spends time exercising his discretion, the landmark bridge collapses in the distance amidst ripples of a loud boom. His demands are specific, as he is looking for an apology from the minister that sets up a conducive plot point for Karthik's character, whose conscience visits the opportunity as means to reunite with his gilded throne of the news anchor. Karthik clings to the character's lines like a poodle following the directions of his owner. He never wobbles from his path and remarkably, in the manner of speaking, plods along on the firmly etched character lines. From playing the role of a lover expressing love for his wife, in a sense his usual territory, to emoting desperation, ebullience, helplessness, and deep-seated wrath for his boss, he contours through every emotion with a guarded stance. He even inhabits the anguish of an impending divorce that hits him deeply, upsetting his equilibrium. He rolls around in a roller coaster of emotions so rapidly that we witness the birth of psychopathic tendencies in his conduct, especially when he's facing the camera, putting on the anchor's hat while negotiating with the terrorist. His desperation for survival takes on a massive transformation into a genius who constantly scribbles on the piece of paper to list down possible workaround even during the matter of urgency. Amruta Subhash wears typical shades of a woman whose no-nonsense approach is armored by her grit to achieve results. Her character distinctly follows the life of a person in the news agency who is motivated for blurring the lines and hence places immense significance on what's best for the agency, ethics be damned. When the entire city is reeling from the bomb blast that hacked off the modern marvel, the ceiling, her character bearing pronounced grey lines scurs for ways to increase the channel's rating. She is politically motivated to throw anyone under the bus as long as the person is means to her end. Mrunal Thakur rises and sets in the distance. Her proximity and crummy bitterness with the main lead act as a prelude to how her character swims in the distant shores, identifying the floundering relationship between the duo. The screenplay symbolically dedicates the extension of her resentment towards him by separating the two by distance and focusing on the longingness. Barring this painful depiction that focuses on capturing the unhappiness of a broken relationship, the plot hinders the growth of her character. But in the given space, she is a delight to watch, although her character's act of compassion to save the girl by going above and beyond seemed intricate and unnecessary. Perhaps in line with the requirement of the news agency, anything that takes the rating up. The movie does have its moments. Most importantly, Karthik Aaryan has given one of his most captivating performances. Although glaring shortcomings surround his endeavor, yet it is not possible to disregard his contribution. Each character comes with specific character definitions, oft-said dialogues, and a non-meaty presence that every nook and cranny of the news agency cram elements of superfluousness that at best appear to be constructed with restrained parameters. The story fails to escape the black hole of artificiality. And even when it wants to climb up, the dying gasps of the screenplay pull it back. There is no room for improvisation if the fine lines of the characters are scribbled so brightly that non adherence becomes no option. It should be watched for Karthik's performance and adequate direction by Madhvani. I would rate the movie 3 on 5. Thank you.